What up, players? It has been a minute. I'm alive. Man, I have so much to talk about, and you know what? I just realized I started to make a list of topics I wanted to do so I can keep my blogs more streamlined. Like I said, I was going to do months ago, and I realized I forgot the list. So we're just going to be freeballing it again today. So, first of all, a lot of you have probably seen some of the videos and stuff I've posted. My hand's getting better. Look, no splint. Scar's getting pretty good. I mean, you guys know, I did some damage. The scar I had on my palm, I mean, you can barely even see that it was there for the carpal tunnel release. For some reason, every time I try to explain that, I always say carpal release tunnel because I don't know how to talk, I guess. I'm out in the shop today because it's supposed to be 60, baby, and it's already like 50 degrees out. Yeah, it's like 50. My thermometer's saying it's 54, and it's in the shade back here by the woods. So that's, 14 Celsius? But it's always colder in the shop. It's 44 in the shop. I don't know why. It's not insulated, but you know what? I think we'll open up some doors, get some heat in here. Anyways, yeah. Hand is much better. So actually let me get situated here. I'm gonna grab my chair, put you guys up on and look, check this out. Not good hand, well, injured hand. Lift up my shop stool. It's not that heavy. This is probably 10 pounds-ish. But hey, it's better than what I was able to do, right? For a long time. A long time. Anyways, hand is doing much better. I've been cleared to drive. I don't have to wear my splint. The freaking balancing thing all the time. I've been advised to kind of wear it in public. I'll explain that in a second. Which I haven't really been able to drive. So I hadn't really needed it to I can now, but recently I haven't been able to. Up until recently I haven't been able to. So, oh, look at that. Got some, there we go, cool. Because I still can't, so this is my good hand, this was my injured hand, right? So like, this is me flexing my fingers back. That's what I got on this hand. So index finger, as you guys know, still pretty good. Pinky's second best. Middle finger, third best. I'm having the most trouble with the ring finger. If you guys don't remember, and I've gotten some updates too. So, but if you guys don't remember, this, I can show this now because it's not as gnarly. So here was the initial cut from the glass. You can tell it's circular. And then the surgeons had to cut up here more and bring the cut down here. And then they had to do a carpal tunnel release, which is just a band that goes across your tendons. So your tendons kind of glide underneath those. The glass cut from here to here. So from my pinky and my ring finger, it severed the tendons here. So you have from what I understand, I'm not a doctor, but you have 4 tendons that come up for your fingers, and then for each one, they split into 2, and that's so you can bend your fingers like this and like this. Look how good that movement is. I'll go into detail on that in a minute too. But so where the tendons split into 2, I severed both of those for my pinky and my ring finger. For my middle and index finger, I damaged them. They still needed to be sewn back together. Basically, if they are damaged, I think it's either 20 or 30% or more, the surgeons will sew them back together to help healing. They were damaged like 80%. And then I also learned, so over here, so you also have tendons to move your wrist back and forth and side to side. I think it's 1 for each side, so you have 4 for your wrist. I may be wrong. Anyways, over here where the cut is on the side, it severed the wrist tendon. So 5 tendons total. I know when I started daily vlogging, it was like, oh, I severed 2, oh, I severed 3, and then turned into 4, and now it's 5. So the latest news is it's 5 tendons, and then of course the artery that almost caused me to bleed out. However, so moving my fingers back, hard, but that's why the splint is recommended. So if I'm out in public, if I like went to a concert or something, is kind of what I'm thinking. Something of that nature, a crowd of a lot of people close together. Since I can't move my fingers back, I could probably get hurt pretty bad if I bent my fingers back. And I know that I went to shut a door a few days ago, and I might need to go grab a coat. It's a little colder out here than I thought. But I went to shut a door, so like this was the door. I kind of, I went like this, and it started to bend my fingers back more than what I was used to. And I was like, whoa, I had to like pull my hand back, right? Like it wasn't something hard or anything like that, but things like that happen. But it's getting there. It's so much better than it was, obviously, if you guys have been following this thing the whole time. But one thing that the physical therapist said about something like that is that's kind of a good sign, because so I have to be careful, and if I'm not sure, I can like trust myself, or if I'm in a large crowd, to wear my splint, which my splint got modified. I don't know if you remember. It used to keep my hand in my fingers like this and my wrist like that, and then so it used to come back here, probably about halfway up my arm or so, third of the way. That's to keep my wrist from moving and my fingers. The splint got modified so I can just move my wrist now, and it kept my fingers from being bent back. But my physical therapist said that is a good thing, because she's saying that my muscle memory is coming back, which I've noticed. So another thing I've noticed, I don't have anything nearby, but to kind of show you guys, this is as much of a fist as I can make, and I can really feel, might be able to see how much your wrist moves a little bit up in here, but mine's still kind of swollen. It's hard to tell on camera, but mine's still moving a lot because of all the scar tissue. But anyways, that's as much of a fist I can make. My 2 fingers here can touch my palm. My other 2, not quite yet, almost. If I passively put them in and then hold it, I can hold them on my own, almost. You can see my ring finger kind of pops out when I try and hold it. That's me trying. And I can try as hard as I want now because my tendons are fully healed. Before, that was an issue. She was having me do what those are called place holds. She only wanted me to try like 20%, and it kept increasing over time, like the amount of force I can use, because my tendons were still healing. She wanted to give them a good long amount of time to completely heal so they don't like sever again from my muscles pulling them apart. So, anyways, because my fingers can't completely close, I'll go to grab something like something that I can't completely, something smaller, right? That could fall through those cracks, right? Like part of my physical therapy right now at home is grabbing piles of marbles and now change. I've been doing that for about 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm able to grab more, like bigger and bigger piles of marbles. And I just started grabbing change about a week ago, and those piles are getting bigger. So that's the process. But back to the muscle memory thing, I'll instinctively go to grab something small, like not that I grab marbles all the time. I have like marbles laying around. I'll just go to grab some, like a pen or something like that. And I just instinctively grab it with my right hand, the muscle memory, and then I'll start walking away and it'll fall out. Or guitar picks. That's a good thing. I keep dropping my guitar picks. So here, I have a Sawzall blade. So like if this was a guitar pick, I can grab it. And I have enough force now that you guys have seen probably the short videos and stuff that I've been posting of me playing guitar. At first, I was more acting it than actually playing it. So in the video, it looked like I was playing it, but I wasn't completely playing it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have that, I wasn't able to use that much force to hold it. But now I can with my index finger for a pick, of course. My middle finger's pretty good now. But I'm not going to do it because it's a blade and I'll end up cutting my face off or something. But my ring and my pinky finger, I can barely, like, you can't really feel what I'm feeling, but I have to really, I'm really trying hard to touch my thumb with my pinky. But I'm doing exercises like that every day and it's getting better and better. So, I think I said I'm clear to drive now, and been able to do stuff around the house, nothing crazy. I was trying to shovel something yesterday. The ground's still frozen here, even though it's, it's still getting below freezing at night. Today and tomorrow is supposed to be like 60 degrees, which is going to be great. So the ground might thaw out. So the ground was a little frozen, but I started to, I'm allowed to start incorporating things back in my life, but I like kind of grabbed, it was actually a pickaxe. When I was doing it, it would kind of hurt my wrist. I started easy, right? And then, if it feels okay, I'll apply more and more force with stuff like that. Raise my chair up a little bit. This chair slowly sinks. You're going to see, my head's going to be here in about 5 minutes. My head's going to be here again. That didn't feel great. So I was doing it left-handed, which it looks super awkward, feels super awkward because I'm right-handed. But then I stuck the pickaxe and I was trying to get this big boulder out of this little hill on my property. And I started to push it and I eased into it and I was like, that doesn't feel very great. So I had to use more of my left hand. But what was it? 2 weekends ago on my deck, there's, There were like these extra lights that we never use. They're like porch lights, like lights you would have next to your like front door or something. One of the previous homeowners put them there. They're really nice, but we never use them because there's also lights in the ceiling because the deck is covered. We use those more. So I took those off, the porch lights, because by our front and back, or actually by our back door, it had an old crappy one. So I just, actually here it is. This is the old crappy one. Still works, so I kept it, but put the nice new one by the back door, and then I'm gonna put, there was 2 of those porch lights. So I'm gonna put another one above the man door here on the deck, or in the workshop here. Put one above the door. I'll have a 3-way switch. I can turn it on from the house. I can walk out at night when I want to grab something. I used to not really care. I used to always turn the lights on when I first moved here, but I was like, man, there's nothing really in the woods out here that's gonna get me. I mean, some of the neighbors have said they've seen coyotes and stuff, but they're pretty timid. They'll run away. Most animals will, So I stopped turning on the light because I'm like, I'll hear it. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not afraid of them. Of anything out here. There's a lot of rabbits around here. I'm not afraid of them. Sometimes they'll just they see me before I see them and they dart across the yard and I'm like, whoa. And then I'm like, oh, it's just a bunny. But last weekend for 2 days straight, during the day and at night, I smelled a skunk. And I had seen a little family, a mom and a couple little babies this past summer. Came out in the yard and I thought I saw something. I thought maybe it was a bunny, but it never ran. And I kept walking to the door and I was like, oh, there is something there. I'm looking. And then it started to walk away and I saw a little white on the tail. I'm like, it's a skunk. I do not want to get sprayed by a skunk. Man, this chair really sags fast now. So that's why I want to put a light out there. But anyways, I digress. So I've started working on the original album again. It's going well. I haven't been daily vlogging. I want to start doing that again on this channel. I think all of you guys know I'm not doing it on the main channel, just because I want to keep all of the music, just music on that stuff. Any other kind of content that I want to put out on YouTube that may be music related, like recording, how-to recording stuff or whatever. Man, this chair really sucks. I might put on this channel, but to be honest, I think I'm going to start putting all that stuff on Patreon, because all of you guys that ask for it are the ones that support me on Patreon anyway, so I'd rather just put it on there. I kind of hate doing the paywall thing, but I've been doing a lot of research, you know, cleaning up the main channel, moving the vlogs over to this channel, and things like that. And I realized that most of my income is from my royalties, so from like Spotify, stuff like that, and when you buy my music too from iTunes or Amazon or whatever, and Patreon. So I'm just gonna focus on that, and I'm focused on you guys. This chair is driving me crazy. So I'm just gonna do that and focus on you guys. And, you know, again, I know you guys know, but I always feel like I have to say it. I do this because I like making music. I like just making things in general. Obviously, it's why I built this shop, because I like to make things. That's why I have a whole bunch of bits and bobs everywhere. I just like to be able to use what I have and fix things and make things. And, you know, this go-kart, whatever, you know. But unfortunately, the way the world works is you need money to survive. And I've kept my lifestyle very inexpensive so I can continue to do what I love. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. So, you know, that's just, it is what it is. So I'm not doing it for the money. You have to survive, right? So there's that. Which leads me into the next topic. Because my hand has been messed up, and because I had this injury, the medical bills are starting to trickle in now. I've had pretty good luck, and knock on wood, you know, I'll get a bill, and then it'll get kind of settled with the insurance or whatever, and then it'll be affordable. So I've been incredibly lucky with that. I think you guys know the deal I was having with the ambulance. I was really afraid to even approach it. I wasn't sure. I was reaching out to you guys for advice on that, and that worked out 100% in my favor. So that was perfect. That was great. It's really sad how the system is here in the States, but you know, I don't want to get into that, but anyways, because of my injury, you guys know I had a pretty good job before quitting to pursue this, and it was very toxic there. I was having a really hard time being there, and I really wanted to do all this again, but I had to make a plan. So, and my plan was to save up. We never changed our lifestyle and how we live. We were just saving money for retirement, really. We were just trying to create a nest egg as fast as possible. But once I realized that I do want to create music again, and I just want to be a creative person, or I am a creative person, but to just do that as much as possible. To make a living at it, I was going to need a cushion. So I started setting so much aside while I was at that job. The goal was to set aside a year's worth, which is probably going to take me a while, but I got up to about 4 months, I think it was 4 or 5 months. And then I absolutely couldn't take it, ended up quitting. I think you guys know that story. But then I got in, so I did that, and it was going well, but then I got injured. So because of that, this is a non-metal. These are all, sorry, I have a socket set here. This is driving me nuts. 12, 11, 10. Probably why I couldn't find my 10 millimeter. But you never can, right? So anyways, everything was going well. Then I got my injury. And now that some of the bills are starting to trickle in, I'm kind of like, crap. And I couldn't work any side jobs because of my hand. And now I kind of can. So I've been able to do a little bit, which helped. But then now that the medical bills are starting to trickle in, they're not like due yet, and so a lot of them aren't settled yet. I'm like, oh crap, okay. But now it's in the back of my mind, right? Got completely screwed on taxes, which I'm good now. We kind of got screwed last year. We were claiming too much, and then I adjusted it, but apparently I didn't adjust it enough. I don't know. So yeah, got screwed on that again. And honestly, most of it was because when I quit, I was in September. So October, November, and December, we needed medical insurance. We got it through the state marketplace. You have to enter your current income, and then they tell you how much you're allowed, how much they give you to use for medical insurance. And I did that. And then when I did my taxes, they were like, we gave you too much, so you have to pay some of that back. So that's what really messed me up. But yeah, so there was that. And so in my state, you have to get your car inspected every year. We have a pretty nice car, and it has low miles, and we don't drive a lot, especially now. My old job, I had to drive a ton. But now I don't. So usually it's so every year where I live, you have to do not only a car inspection, but an emissions inspection. Yeah, I don't want to get into that either, but yeah, it's a new car. So it's the newest car I've ever had. Because we bought it in 2021 and it's a 2016. So I guess it was 7 years old, which I guess is typically old, but to us it was like new. It has Bluetooth. So like we've never had that. So to me, that's like brand new. But it's always passed, other than occasionally needing like 2 new tires or something. We needed some work done. It sucked because it was stuff that I could do. It needed the oil change, which I can do, but honestly, it always costs, when I do it on my own, it always costs, with today's prices, about $40. And you can get the oil change for like 40 or 45 bucks. When you do it yourself, you have to go get the oil, you have to go get the filter. We had to get the car inspected in February. It was freezing cold here. There's snow on the ground. I can't pull a car in here. It's a wooden floor and it's up on posts. So the car would fall through the floor. So I'd have to do it outside on the ground. And then when I drained the old oil in a pan, which I have, but then I got to put that in my nice car and take it to go get disposed of. So by the time I do all that, we're talking a couple hours, plus it's about the same price. It's so much easier to just take it to the shop. And since it was already there to get inspected, I just got the oil changed. But it also needed new brakes. All 4 brake pads, they wouldn't pass inspection because it needed new brakes. That is something I can do. It is so easy. But I couldn't do it with my hand at the time because this was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, something like that. So my hand, I just couldn't, obviously, my hand. You guys don't need an explanation. You guys know. So, the inspection and emissions usually cost, it's like a state regulated thing. So it's like $80 just to get it inspected, right? So it's usually about $80. But then with the oil change being $45, and then the brakes needing done, and then the labor, it was about $350. So we're just we're getting pounded right now. We just kind of have to, bend over and take it right now, unfortunately. But now that my hand's better, I'm able to do some more jobs. And actually, I was thinking about posting soon here on Facebook if anybody needs any side work done, particularly electrical. When I was saying about, man, my ADHD is crazy. I was talking about moving the lights because I was doing the electrical work. I was pulling wire and cutting it and all that stuff, and using my hand. And I was able to do most of that pretty efficiently and easily. But anyways, now that my hand is even better, I thought about, offering electrical work. Right before I got an injury, I replaced a breaker for someone. I'm pretty good with that. I'm not like an electrician or anything, so it's one of those things where it's like some people will go with me because I'm going to be a little bit cheaper, but some people are like, I don't know, you're not an electrician. It's like, I'm not going to do it if I don't know it, kind of thing. That's just the type of person I am. I can do a lot of handyman work too. So I was thinking about offering those services up. Kimmy, my wife, was saying I should see if some of the neighbors want their grass cut since summer's just around the corner. I used to have a landscaping company. I didn't landscape, I just cut grass. It really stinks because now I have a good place to dump the grass clippings because some of the customers wanted me to bag it. But I don't have a way to, I have a trailer, but my car can only tow 900 pounds and my trailer 650 pounds. I still have my commercial mower back there. You guys have probably seen it. And I still have all my equipment, my commercial grass cutting equipment, whatever you want to call it. I just don't have a way to tow it around. I don't know. I've been doing some side work with my cousin. It's just very sporadic. It pays pretty good, but it's not enough and it's sporadic. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to, this injury just really set me back, unfortunately. And I should have planned it better. I should have stuck at the job longer. I should have just, bit my tongue and just, but a person can only put up with so much. But the past is the past. So my point is, I'm trying to figure out what all that is, to be honest. For a while, when we first got this place, before I even had this workshop, and just right before, maybe about a year up or so, leading up to us getting this new place, I was flipping lawnmowers and stuff. People all the time, I would see on Facebook and on Facebook Marketplace, and just driving around town. People would throw away a lawnmower or a weed whacker or whatever. They would have it out by the road, or they put it out by the road with a free sign on it. I made a friend who I had bought some small engines off of, and we got to talking. He was a good guy. He is a good guy. He's still around. I don't know why I said was. God, I'm so weird. He started helping me out with that. He found equipment like that all the time, and he would hook it up. You know what I mean? He'd get it free or dirt cheap, so he would sell it to me dirt cheap and just make a little bit of money. And a lot of times he'd be like, I looked at this. This is what's wrong with it. So here, just give me $10 or $20. This is what you can do. You could probably get a $100 bill out of it, which was usually the case, which was awesome. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought about getting back into that. I'm pretty good at it. The only problem is that I hate dealing with people on Facebook Marketplace. Can't stand it because it's a whole nother, you guys probably know. It's when you try and sell something on Facebook Marketplace, depending on what it is, you can have 50 people message you, 10 people will actually respond back because they're maybe slightly interested. 5 people are actually interested, and maybe one person will actually show up. And when that one person shows up, they try and haggle you, which honestly is fine. The haggling doesn't bother me. I got pretty good with that. Like, I might get a lawnmower for, let's say, whether I bought it and fix it up or just got it for free and fix it up. Let's say I got $20 into it. And it's like a decent like Honda mower or something like that. Because Honda doesn't make lawnmowers anymore, at least here in the States. I don't know if they do anywhere else, but Honda made really good lawnmowers, and not just like the engine is a Honda, like they made the entire push mower. So I'd come across something like that, right? I'd have like $25 into it. Let's say $25, like for parts and stuff to fix it, get it running again, and running well, like working well, like in working order, good to go. It would be, I'd put it online. Let's say like, I have 25 into it, $80 because of the time I had to put into it, the money I spent into it, and then like the time I have to put into dealing with people on Facebook Marketplace. $70 to $80 would be like the lowest I'd want to go, right? But then, so I'd post it for like 100, right? So people would be like, would you take 75 for it? Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I didn't even really have to haggle. Sometimes people would just really lowball me, like, I don't know, man, I'll give you $30. And it's like, well, I'm only making $5 or $10. That's not really worth it to me. That's what I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, I didn't put like 10 hours of time in this to make $10. Like, no thanks. And I'd say, well, I'd go 80 or what, Well, honestly, a lot of times I just wouldn't even deal with those kind of people. I'd be like, no, man, that's not even close to where I'm trying to be. Like, thanks, but no thanks. But honestly, that didn't really happen a lot. But I just don't know if I want to get into that because I just really despise the Facebook market. It becomes a whole nother full-time job. You know what I mean? I'm really considering just, it sucks because I have a lot of skills. There's a lot of things I can do. I feel like it's taken a step back, but I was talking to my wife about it this morning. There's a good handful of like restaurants on the in town. I thought about just getting a part-time job as like a dishwasher or something, just to have that cushion. You know what I mean? Because everybody has to work. You know what I mean? And until I can really get this rolling again, I hate to do it, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. But at the same time, I'm just trying to weigh out my options. I have a month or two to really figure it out, because the taxes I don't have to pay until next month. So yeah, till next month. So I have about a month to figure it out. But I don't know. I really don't know. So trying to stay on topic here. I think I'm doing pretty well. The original album's coming along. You guys probably know I'm super into whiteboards, so I went through all of my stuff on my computer, all of the songs that I think would be great for this record, and made a list, and then I divided it all up, and so I have a list of my songs, and then across the top I have things like drums, guitars, bass, vocals, backing vocals, etc. Mix, master, artwork, whatever, etc., etc. A lot of the songs I don't even have names for, so that was one of the columns too, like name, because I got to come up with a name for it, right? And just been checking everything off the list as I go. And I think you guys know, because I think I said it in my last vlog. I haven't been daily vlogging because I've been incredibly tired. It's been getting much better, and that's why I'm vlogging today. And I've been up since 5, and I've got a ton of stuff done. So I'm like getting back into it already. It's close to, I came out here at about 10:30. I've been vlogging for about 35 minutes. So it's probably 11:30. I'm still not tired yet. I mean, you guys know, I'd get up early, do a bunch of stuff, help my kid get ready, take her to school, do a bunch of stuff, pick my kid up, do more stuff, daily vlog, blah, blah, blah. I do all this. I mean, like, I'd put it easily, anywhere from to 10 to 15 hours doing this stuff. And I said before, I'm like a kid when it comes to this, because like, I just want to I didn't want to stop. It's like, I'm like fighting sleep. Like, a kid just wants to keep playing Nintendo or watching a show, and they're just like falling asleep. It's like, dude, just go to sleep. Like, stop crying and trying to fight sleep. Just go to sleep. That's how I am when it comes to like creating stuff. When I get hyper focused on something, I just don't want to stop. But I haven't been able to do that because I've been so exhausted. It's slowly coming back. I really had to start doing things to like force myself, and to not only get my mind and my body back into the swing of things, but I also had to give myself a break. You know what I mean? Like, my body went through this crazy trauma, and it was healing, still healing. So my body was tired. You know what I mean? It's like, I do like a couple hours of like actual work, editing or whatever. It's like, once I was able to start using my hand again to use my mouse, it's like I was able to start editing so much faster and recording more, right? I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I put in 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours, and I felt exhausted. I would take a nap. I would wake up, we'd eat dinner, hang out with my family for a little bit, and then like go back to sleep. It was just, but that's slowly starting to fade away. So I would like to start daily vlogging again, but that's just another thing I've been trying to fight with. And I just had to give myself the time to do it, But the album is coming along, and yesterday actually, I have songs on that I never recorded in the studio on my computer. They were just ideas. I sang and played on acoustic guitar. Some were just like a hook. Some were half of a song. Some were most of a song. But I recorded it just like a really rough cut demo on my phone. But since my injury, I haven't been able to play guitar or drums or anything. I still can't play drums, unfortunately, but I've been able to play guitar. Bass has been kind of hard. I'm guessing because the strings are thicker. But anyways, yesterday I was working on one of those new songs. I'm calling it a new song. It's a song that was on a voice memo or something. And I call them new too because they're songs that I wrote probably within the last year tops that I want to get on this record. A lot of these songs that I have on my computer, some of them are 10 years old or more. It's kind of funny how that happens, but I've really just been taking the time to try and listen to music more, because believe it or not, I started listening to podcasts more. I used to do that on the way to work or just listen to music. Believe it or not, I don't get a chance before, pre-injury, when I'm working, because I'm recording and playing. I can't listen to music while I'm trying to listen to what I'm playing and writing. And same thing, so I can't, that's with everything, music, podcasts, or whatever, So I don't get to listen to as much music as I can. And I was listening to music yesterday while I was doing busy work. And man, it just gives you so many ideas about, I'm not cutting myself, I'm itching myself. This blade's dead. Ow, no, just kidding. You listen to music and it gives you a bunch of ideas. And I'm always so interested in song structure. Just the way people do things structurally in a song. So like the way they'll kind of write their hooks musically and write their melodies musically, but then the way they structure it, like they start with this hook and then they go into this refrain part that's also a hook, and then they go into, and those are 8 bars each, and then they go into like a 16-bar verse. and it's still kind of hooky, but they do these things. It's not like the main hook, you know what I mean? And the way they'll repeat it and then like bring something back in at the end and stuff like that. It's just so intriguing to me. And it's been kind of great. And I was telling my wife this morning. I was like, I really need to set time for myself to do that more often, because I was doing that and then I'm just kind of like, I'd get ideas and then I'd write them down in my phone. And I'm like, this is great. Like, this is how you learn. This is how you become a better songwriter. This is how you become better at anything that you're honed in on doing. And it just gave me so many more ideas. And that's what caused me to start working on one of my songs. You know what I mean? And when I was talking to my wife this morning, I was like, something that has always stuck to me. It was someone that I met when I lived in Florida that he said, it really, a lot of people don't realize this, but, we look at, as a society, we look at people who have made it, the people that we hear on the radio, that we see and on MTV, that was, kind of dating how how old I am and stuff, but the people on these bands and musicians artists on MTV and now on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff, you see them go from like 0 to 1 million subscribers. It seems like overnight, but he was like, a lot of times people call someone an overnight success, but it took them 10 years or 20 years or 30 or 40 years to become an overnight success. And a lot of people define that as success. And this was someone who, he was teaching one of the classes I took in college, and we kind of bonded a little bit because he was into punk rock. He was a little older than me, so he was into like a different era of punk rock, but there was some overlap there. And he was Ricky Martin's vocal producer. And he was like, I've made a good living for myself, and I know a lot of people like me that have made a good living for themselves, and you would have absolutely no idea who they are. And that's why I said he was Ricky Martin's vocal producer. A lot of artists they usually have a producer that works with them or the band. They had a producer and then a vocal producer and that was him that worked with Ricky Martin. And I'm saying that because I didn't know who he was. I didn't even know that was a thing. But that's why he told me that too. And there are a lot of people out there that you wouldn't even know who they are, especially now with the internet. You wouldn't know who they are, but they've made a great living for themselves. And they enjoy life, and that, to me, that's winning. So being able to do what you love and enjoy your life, and your family have that time to do that, that's winning. You know what I mean? That's rich to me. So I think that's what it's all about. So anyways, I was talking to my wife this morning. I said, it really only takes one song to do that. And the more time I spend getting better at my craft, the better my odds are, the better the lottery tickets that I win. I kind of hate saying lottery tickets because, I guess it's kind of like playing the lottery, but when I started doing the daily vlogs, I started putting more stuff out there. So of course, the more people that see your stuff, the more likely you are to get haters. And that was sort of a topic for a little bit, if you guys remember, at the beginning of this whole daily vlog thing. And there's good days and bad days, but I was getting better at it pre-injury. But now it's like, when I get the hate comments, it doesn't even faze me. And that's great. I've been wanting to get to that point forever, but there was just nothing in my head that made sense, but anyways, you get the hate comments, and it can bother you or you don't bother you, bother you. You get better at dealing with them or whatever. I knew this, and I would try and focus on it, and I knew it, but I didn't understand this was for every hater, at least in my case, for every hater that I have about 10 people that, or maybe even more. I'm just making up numbers. I didn't actually do research on this. But for me, it's like I have, for every hater that I have, which is occasional. I mean, by occasional, I mean like maybe once a day. I'll get a hate comment. But for every hater I have about 10 people that not only support me, but that absolutely believe in what I do. And they believe in me as like a musician, a songwriter, whatever it is. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's what I need to focus on, right? And you say it, you hear it every day. I know it. I used to say it and think it, but you know, you're not for everybody. And sometimes it's hard to even remember that, you know? But now that's all I think about. It's crazy. I think I was saying in the last vlog, actually, that I really fully understand it. Like, I always wanted to understand what people were thinking and just have a conversation. But some people just can't do that. You know what I mean? And honestly, a lot of times they're depressed. They've grown up in a shitty situation their whole life. They don't have those connections in their brain to like do that. The logic just isn't there. Not because they're stupid. They weren't raised in a good environment or whatever. So it's kind of sad usually, but I'm pretty sure it was in the last vlog. My wife and I went out, and this dude was, we were at a bar and we were sitting on the corner, and then there was like a couple. So we're here, there was like a couple sitting here. And then one of their friends came in, he was like standing at the corner talking to them. So there wasn't a seat there, and he was like kind of in my space, but it wasn't really like, I wasn't like cramped. It was just kind of, he had his drink like next to mine. So I'm talking to my wife and my brother, and I just instinctively, I just kind of like, I guess out of the corner of my eye, saw my glass. I grabbed it. I'm still talking to them, and he's like, "Hey, that's my drink." He got like offended by it, and I was like, "Oh, my bad, man." I like set it down, and he was just like, "Oh," he like took his glass, like, "Let's just put this over here," and like said it's like 10 feet away from me, and 10 feet away from, he like inconvenienced himself too. But I was just kind of like, at first, my first instinct was just like, dude, like, why are you so offended? Like, it was an accident. Like, are you cool? Or whatever. But then I was just like, I thought that, and I was like, I don't even know this guy. If you're going to get offended by that, like, you're fucking stupid. You know what I mean? And it made me laugh. So I just, like, laughed it off. And then, like, their friends kind of looked at me, and we kind of chuckled. And then, like, you know what I mean? So it's just, and I think it pissed them off more because we kind of, like, chuckled or whatever. But then, like, it never even, like, fazed me. You know what I mean? So it's just, like, I see it, like, progressively getting better. It's like dirt on the wall. Yeah, my point is, I guess, is that, I guess I had to almost die to, like, for that to happen, but, those things used to, like, my point was, those things used to be like a roadblock for me. Like, sometimes it would set me off for a day. Like, I'd be thrown off balance for like a day because I couldn't stop thinking of like this person that said like, I can't sing. And it's just like, dude, if you think that I can't sing, I mean, I'm not like the best singer on the planet, but if you think that I can't sing, or you think like you clearly do not have a musical ear, so you shouldn't even be talking because you don't know what you're talking about. And that's just, that's all it is, you know? So, and art is subjective. Like, some people have strong opinions about things and say them as it's a matter of fact, and it's just not. You know what I mean? It's just like, people can say like, dude, the way you organize your shop is the worst. And it's like, this isn't your shop and it works for me. So fuck off. I mean, honestly, it's not the best because I'm still not done. But if you guys have been watching me since my earlier vlogs, you know it used to be a lot more cluttered. But that's because I didn't have a shop. It was all in random corners and kept getting moved around in my basement and my parents' garage. And now it's all here, finally. So, yeah. But the album's coming. I've been able to work on new songs. Still kind of fighting the tiredness issue, but it's getting better. I would like to... The last thing with my channel, I moved all the vlogs over to this channel from the main channel. I'm on the fence about moving all of my audio onlys over to, or just deleting them. And here's my thought process behind that, and then I'm going to finish up. And I would really like your guys' input on this, because I know some of you listen to my music from my main channel, just the audio onlys, because I have playlists. I know some of you have made your own playlist from YouTube. But even if you don't, I would still like your opinion on this. So I moved the vlogs over from the main channel to this channel, mostly for the algorithm, because it's like I was daily vlogging, and I was doing that before the Christmas EP, throughout the Christmas EP, and then much after, up until, you know, a month or so ago, 2 months ago maybe. Which actually, no, I don't know when it was, but today marks 2 months since my injury. It's been 2 months since my injury. But anyways, I moved all the vlogs over to this channel because of algorithm stuff. Because I was daily vlogging, and it was getting my watch time up and stuff, but I noticed that I wasn't getting traffic to my music videos and music anymore. And that was some advice from someone, and we talked about it, and I was like, yeah, you know what? You're probably right. And I did some research, like other people that also kind of do what I do, like maybe in slightly different spaces or genres or whatever. I was like, yeah, everyone keeps it strictly music on their channel. I should start a second channel, and that's what I did, and it has helped. I see more people discovering my music now, commenting on the music videos and stuff, even from 7 years ago. My channel hit 8 years old on February 15th too. So a few milestones this year. So with that being said, I always would upload my music video, and then I would do the official audio or the audio only version. So it would just be, you know, a picture of the album art or the thumbnail or whatever, and just the audio. This is why I'm on the fence about it. The vlogs made sense. The audio onlys, if I do a cover of something, I do the music video and then I have the audio only. So now I have two different videos, essentially, on YouTube, giving me more exposure, right? So it's kind of like with the same song. So if someone is looking for a cover of Jingle Bell Rock, right, from my Christmas EP, if they search punk cover Jingle Bell Rock, I have two, see my finger, I can't do it. I have two chances of getting seen with that search. You know what I mean? And when you search something on YouTube, I think the first page is like 10 results, right? So I have a 2 out of 8 chance of getting seen if it ranks high enough, right? I know there's much more to this than what I'm saying, but just to keep it simple. So that's why I'm kind of like, I should leave it there, because it increases my visibility, right? If you're trying to make, you're playing basketball, you're more likely to make a shot if you had 2 chances to make the shot rather than 1, right? However, I kind of forgot about this, but when I use my distributor to distribute my music, it also distributes it to, like Spotify and all that we know, also distributes it to YouTube Music. And when it does that, it makes a channel with the band's name and topic after it. So mine, for example, was Punk Cover Moose topic. And I forgot about that. And I looked mine up today, and it has 130 subscribers, I think. I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, wait a second. And I did some research. When people listen to my music on YouTube through that channel that was set up by my distributor, it's not much, but it's just like Spotify. It's not much, but I'm still getting paid for it. One stream, you'd probably have to listen to, I would say, 2 to 4 of my covers for me to make a penny, right? So it's really not much. But when you listen to my audio only on my main channel on Punk Cover Moose, I don't make anything. I started doing that because when my channel was brand new 8 years ago, after posting 3 of my covers, I was eligible for YouTube ad revenue because the criteria back then to be eligible was to get 100,000 views. My first few videos got tens of thousands. I think after like 3 or 4 videos, I hit the criteria. So I turned ad revenue on and I was like, what else can I do? And then someone gave me the idea of uploading the official audio. So I was collecting a little ad revenue from that. And then, of course, that got taken away. They changed it to, I think, 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers. I had 1,000 subscribers, but I didn't have 4,000 watch hours. After a couple years, I got that. And then, or it was 2,000, I don't know. They changed the criteria, and then it went away. I got it again. I was eligible again, made about $100 over the course of like a year and a half, and then it went away again. So I'm kind of like, I think in the back of my mind, I've been chasing YouTube ad revenue and TikTok ad revenue. I'm still monetized on Facebook somehow. I just got $10 from them a couple weeks ago. But that's kind of my point. It's never much. And I've talked to people who also do similar things to what I do, put covers on YouTube that do collect ad revenue. And like I was just talking to someone who is very close to his silver play button, which is 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he's like, I'm lucky if I make $1 a day. Like, that's a really good day if I make $1. So if you're still here, thanks. But if you remember at the beginning of the vlog, I was saying Patreon and royalties are my biggest income stream. So if you see where I'm going now, part of me, this is why I'm on the fence. Part of me is I want to keep the audio onlys on my main channel for visibility, because I'm not even close to my silver play button. A lot of people don't know who I am in the grand scheme of things. So visibility is good, right? But on the other hand, if I'm getting X amount of plays and I can get an extra $20 a month or something from people listening to my music on through YouTube Music, like on the Punk Cover Moose topic channel, because that's all they are. It's just the audio only on there. I don't know if I made that clear. $20 is a lot of money, especially right now. As a matter of fact, $20 would cover one of our bills. You know what I mean? So like, that's huge. But what do you guys think? I'm on the fence about that. I don't know. I can't promise I'm going to daily vlog right away. It's going to probably take me a while to get back into it. But I'm going to try. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I always have the link in my description. I think there's an actual, say, like, back me on Patreon with a link. If it's not there, there is a link that says, like, more ways to listen to Punk Cover Moose or something like that, it takes you to a link that's on my website. It has a bunch of buttons. It's like a all my links, bands will have that. I made my own, so I don't have to pay for it on my website. But it just has a bunch of buttons, and on there, I think it's the first one. It's an orange button that says "Back me on Patreon" or something like that. If you would like to, I would appreciate it. Because the other thing I'm gonna start doing, because of the YouTube ad revenue, instead of me uploading videos that aren't really getting seen anyway, they're getting seen by people like you that are follow my vlogs, that most of you, I believe, actually already follow me on or back me on Patreon. I'd rather just post that exclusive content there. You know what I mean? Because is a random person on YouTube going to find my video explaining why I wrote this original song and going into depth about it and become a fan? Maybe, but to find it, you'd have to search something like Punk Cover Moose behind the scenes or whatever, right? This is just me. I kind of feel horrible about putting a paywall on something like that. But my lowest tier on Patreon's $1. So for $1 a month, you can see all that. And I'm going to start putting all of that stuff on there. For me, I can't even spare $1 a month right now. So I totally get it. And that's why I feel bad. I was talking to my wife about it, just trying to get her perspective on it. And she was like, if you had the money, are there artists that you would support on Patreon? I was like, yes, absolutely. And I have. So I don't know. But anyways, would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Really what I'm leaning towards with the Patreon thing, but I don't know. I really don't know with the official audios. I'm kind of leaning towards taking them off my main channel. I just can't decide if visibility or, the couple extra bucks a month, which one's more valuable. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know how to really decide. I think, I don't know. I really don't know. So anyways, thanks for the support, guys. All the links are in the bio. Thank you for using my Amazon affiliate link. That's been helping a ton. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you for showing people my music. A good handful of you guys have been telling me that. You play my music pretty much exclusively while you're Ubering, or that you play my music all the time at your get-togethers and stuff like that, and show your friends and tell your friends about me. I don't know how to thank. I hope I don't let you guys down. Because all of you that follow my vlog like this, all of you have told me you just believe in me and that you fully support me and you want to see me do well. And I just hope I don't let you down. This has been a rough start to the year, but if it all works out, it's going to make a great story. So, I couldn't do it without you guys. I'll never forget, no matter what the turnout is. I'll always remember you guys. So, that was something, I think I told the story when I was just when I got my injury on the way to the hospital and right before I went into my first surgery, thinking man, if I don't make this, I'm going to see what's on the other side, And, I thought about you guys that have supported me and how much of a blessing that was. So I really, that's how much it means to me. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to go work on some music. Please let me know, please, in the comments. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next vlog.